The Marine Corps requires leaders of all ranks to have a deep understanding of war and the employment of force. MCDP 1 reminds Marines that the military profession is a thinking profession. Every Marine is expected to be a student of the art and science of war. It goes on to say that every Marine has an individual responsibility to study the profession of arms. Self-directed study in the art and science of war is at least equal in importance to maintaining physical condition and should receive at least equal time. The Marine Corps Association understands the critical importance of ensuring that Marines are as mentally ready for combat as they are physically ready. That is why we offer an entire page dedicated to wargaming on our website. We have recommendations for both tabletop board games as well as computer games. And for Marine Corps Association members, there is a discount code for War Game Design Studios that you can find on the website. War games are a great way to immerse yourself in history and to put yourself in the shoes of the great leaders of history. Go beyond guided instruction and experience the thrill of wargaming. Check us out at mca-marines.org/decision-making-exercises/wargaming-2. That's mca-marines.org/decision-making-exercises/wargaming-2. Take your training to the next level. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners. Welcome to episode 209. This week is the conclusion of our audio-only Modern Day Marine 2025 series. As with previous MDMs, we were recording from the showroom floor, but as some of you know, this year we recorded some on video for our YouTube channel and others we recorded as audio-only podcasts. In this series, we've covered conversations ranging from veteran support organizations to future ops and wargaming to Toys for Tots. So if you missed any, please go back and check them out. We've really enjoyed sharing these conversations with you, and I hope to see you all Modern Day Marine 2026 next year. Our final episode features Gunny Spafford and John Hahn from Toys for Tots. Gunner is the Deputy Vice President of Business Development, and John is not only the media manager, but also the voice of and mascot of Gunny Bear, the Toys for Tots mascot. Gunner and John talk to us about what it is that Toys for Tots does, some of the history of the foundation and its links to Walt Disney, some of the successes and challenges, and how people can support providing for children in need. One of the mottos of Toys for Tots is that it's more than just a toy. And we're really happy that we're able to put a spotlight on the good things this foundation is doing for kids and the community. This is episode 209. Hey, Scuttlebutt listeners. Thank you for joining us and your continued support. I'm Vic, and we are here doing Scuttlebutt from the showroom floor of Modern Day Marine. I am really excited to be welcoming representatives from Toys for Tots, Gunner Spafford and John Hahn.
Yes.
I don't know how I fucked that up because you said Han Solo,
right?
And then I, for whatever reason, was going to go solo. Because anyway, but yeah, John Hahn. So thank you guys so much for being here. I have a bit of a relationship with Toys for Tots. I was I&I down in Jacksonville, Florida, and as you guys know, Marine Forces Reserves does a lot of the heavy lifting for Toys for Tots. And so I got to see some of the inner workings and just what a special program it is. And so, yeah, thank you guys for being here and talking about this really great organization that does so much.
Absolutely.
And Vic, thank you for having us. We really do appreciate it. It is an amazing honor to have been in the Marine Corps for 25 years and get out and do a job like this. I mean, Marines, the military, the support that we get, and then we are helping kids in our communities.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so great.
You know, Jacksonville is one of 873 locations last year where we had different units participating in that Toys for Tots program. So 138 reserve units, 270 Marine Corps leagues, and so we couldn't do it without the support. 49 1,000 volunteers made Toys for Tots happen last year, and we distributed 30 million toys to nearly 13 million children.
It's so good.
You think about that, and you're just like, well, how does that relate?
Yeah.
And, we were doing a little bit of studying, and we see that, at the poverty, there's 72 million kids in the United States, and 49% are getting some type of government support, and 13 million are at or below poverty. So, when we finally figured it out, it's about 24 million children that are on some type of support and living at and around that poverty level. So, we're about halfway there.
Well, and you guys have created, at least at the community level, I would say national because you put all the communities together, but it's a groundswell because all of the other organizations that come and want to be a part of, like, I want to say, like, one of our pickup locations was Toys R Us.
Oh, absolutely.
And man, they're just like dumping stuff with us, and so it's just really kind of like you said. I mean, it is so easy. When you think about it at the 35,000 foot level, like, oh, of course you're helping kids, but it's so easy to say and so much harder to do. But what you guys do, I think, really kind of kicks people in the ass.
Well, this is our 78th year. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about impact. That's over, what is it, 640 million toys?
Yeah, to 301 million children.
Yeah.
Over that time.
It's just insane.
It is insane. And then, like, to think about what it is, even, like, I hate to, like, lean too much into sort of the superficial because, we're talking about values and morals and how we, develop our youth and how we sort of nurture and raise our culture. But at the same time, Christmas Day, the opposite, if you guys weren't doing what you're doing, would be hundreds of millions of children who Christmas Day would be a really shitty day.
Yeah, true. It's absolutely true.
That breaks my heart, and so what you guys do, man, it's so, I can't thank you guys enough for
I like to personally think of it as making the choice for the parents, right? They no longer have to decide between a utility bill, keeping a roof over their head, and toys.
Right.
Now they can just go and they get the toys, they have a great Christmas or whatever holiday they celebrate, and they can still do the parent thing and support their children, without having to make that decision.
And the ripple effect. So, like, rather than having to weigh Christmas or car payment,
right?
Which, if I don't make the car payment, I could potentially lose my job, which then puts me into a separate bracket. Or maybe because I can afford the car and keep it well maintained, I can get a second job.
Right.
And that can help. It's just so many things. And then the children.
It's more than just a toy.
Exactly.
It's 100% more than just a toy.
Right.
And that's kind of our motto is, we bring joy and happiness, but we also give a little bit of stress relief
and
for
sustainability.
Yeah. So
you brought up a lot of great points. One of the things that I love about the organization is that we're a national organization, but with a local touch. And it's just a group of individuals across the country coming together to take care of their community using the umbrella of the Toys for Tots logo, the Toys for Tots vision, and it impacts, and we've slowly transitioned. We've got about 5 different programs that we run throughout the year. Now we're a year-round force for good. So we do stuff with foster care. We do stuff disaster relief. We were in, as a matter of fact, weren't you in North Carolina?
Yeah.
For after the floods? We brought a tractor trailer truck full of toys. Thought we were going to help 2,000 kids, and what was it? 4,000 families showed up?
Something around there. 4,000 families plus literally the entire community came out to get toys because they've lost everything.
Yeah.
To see that and to be a part of that, physically be a part of that is unreal.
Yeah.
To see what the need is. And this is after, the Red Cross has been out there, after FEMA's been out there.
Yeah.
We want to bring that support after a natural disaster or even just a disaster in general because a lot of people just don't think about you know, the mental health that a toy could bring. It doesn't have to be Christmas time, you know, a puzzle or you know, a game of some kind, or
especially after you've just lost everything.
Right, you've lost everything.
Right.
Well, you're worried about, you know, clothes, water, food, all that stuff, but then, you know, to bring that back and have a board game for the family to sit around and actually go, okay, we're normal-ish again.
Yeah.
Normal-ish.
For a moment.
At least we could take this moment. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
And just breathe.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, man, it really warms my heart, and this is one of the programs that, as a retired Marine myself, like, I'm so proud that the Marine Corps has supported Toys for Tots in the way that we have.
Well, a lot of people don't know that Toys for Tots is an official activity in the United States Marine Corps. You know, we are one of the missions for the Marine Corps Reserve.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you partner with us, you partner with, you know, an organization that has been doing this for, again, 78 years.
Yeah.
You know, and that speaks volume. You add a Toys for Tots logo, you know, the booth right next to you has two big Toys for Tots logo, and people are like, oh, you guys do a lot with Toys for Tots.
Well, I think it's so great, too, that the Marine Corps is supporting you guys from a strategic communication standpoint, too, because here we are at Modern Day Marine. We see a lot of stuff that make a lot of bad people go away, but here you guys are. Yeah. So it's like, it just really, I think, it speaks to the holistic approach of the Marine Corps, but then to the Marine Corps' role and like what we do as a part of the nation. Mm-hmm. It doesn't ignore the fact that Marines are people too, and that we have a role to play in the communities that we live in. And
well, I'll have to share something with you. You know, have you heard the Marine Corps story? Oh, I'm sorry, the Toys for Tots story.
Oh, yeah, like, you mean 1775?
Something about a bar.
No, so do you know how Toys for Tots came to be?
No.
So 1947, let me set the stage for you real quick. 1947, a Marine reservist by the name of Bill Hendricks, he was a major at the time, was working in California. And his wife came to him one day and asked him, you know, she used to make these Raggedy Ann dolls, and asked him if he could find a charity to give it to, because there was a lot of war orphans in the LA Basin area.
Sure.
He's like, he went out, he looked, couldn't find anything, came back, asked her, told her, hey, there's nothing out there. And she goes, well, why don't you make one? And he was like, well, that sounded like a good idea at the time. So he and his Marines went and collected some toys. Nobody told them to go do this. And on Christmas morning, they got on their dress blue uniforms and went out and handed it to the homeless kids in the LA area. Now, this is a good news story, right? This is Christmas 1947. It hits the news, and we get a new commandant in January 1st of 1948, General Clifton B. Cates. And he hears the story, and he sees it for what it is as a community action program. And so this community action program, he directs Bill Hendricks to execute lead the following year. So 1948, all the Marine Reserve units, 78 of them at the time, ran their own campaigns. Now, he didn't know what to call this thing. He just didn't know. His daytime job, he was a PR director for Warner Brothers Studio, and he was having lunch one day. You probably have heard of this guy. His name is Walt Disney. So he told Walt what was going on, and the thing is that he pulls out a piece of paper and draws the hand sketches the 3-car trains with the stars in the wheels and writes Toys for Tots in it. And then 2 weeks later, he gets a poster with that. So Walt Disney gave us our name and our logo.
No way.
So it's an amazing story when you think about it.
Seriously.
Again, getting back to that, you know, community outreach and all the things that we do, it's simply amazing. But it started with an idea and just helping our community. And so, like you said, Marines, we win our nation's battles, right? But we take care of our community, and a lot of people don't remember that piece of it.
Yeah. That's so good. So, I mean, how is it that you guys then came to be a part of this?
Great question.
Yeah.
So the Marine Corps was kind of doing it itself, but in the late 80s, the lawyers kind of got involved and told the commandant, hey, we shouldn't have Marines soliciting for donations. So they decided that we needed to come up with a foundation. So in 1991, the foundation came along, and it kind of has grown, but it runs the day-to-day operations, and every every penny that's collected across the country goes through the foundation, but then it goes right back to the communities it was collected from.
Okay. Yeah, that's so great. And like I said, and to, just beat a horse to glue about, Mar Flores' mission of supporting Toys for Tots. I mean, that was a non-negotiable. It wasn't like, hey, Marines, do you want to, sort of participate if you... And don't get me wrong, the Marines would jumped at the opportunity. Usually, most of our active duty special requests came through during the Toys for Tots season because, one, we needed the work, but the Marines wanted to do that work.
Right.
But at the same time, my ass was going to get fired if we didn't do the work at the same time. So, I mean, this has a lot of top cover to it, and it is very important that the Marine Corps not only is supporting it, but is successful, and that for all of the reasons we already talked about.
We couldn't do this without our partners at the Marine Corps Reserve.
Yeah.
They are... They, like you said, they are the glue.
Yeah.
So they keep us grounded, and there's nothing more that iconic than having a Marine in dress blue uniform standing there collecting toys, but then also distributing toys.
Yeah.
And that's how it came to be that we have a great mascot. John, why don't you tell about
You're
your
definitely get into that. Good segue. Nice.
So absolutely. Gunny Bear is the official mascot now of Toys for Tots. You can follow him on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or X now, LinkedIn, all that stuff. I'm the official voice and animator for that character. He is...
So you animate it as well?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How cool.
And he just kind of gives you information, reaches out to the public, says, hey, this is what we're doing this month. And we want to make sure that the public is aware of all the things that we're constantly doing now throughout the year, like we discussed, disaster relief, foster child initiative, all of those things.
Literacy program, Native American program. And then the holiday campaign is the bread and butter.
Yeah, man, I didn't realize the breadth of what you guys do. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we have
58 million books since 2008.
Yes.
Dude, that's so cool.
It's wild. And that was kind of one of our, our president and CEO's ideas was not only just a toy, but also a book now, so that way we can, educate the children and make sure that we're breaking the cycle of poverty with education.
So good.
And the targeting of the toys, we try to do and collect as many STEM toys as we can, because that, again, helps break that cycle of poverty and allows them to lift themselves up but by their own bootstraps, right?
Yeah.
And I get to travel the country, and I'll have people come up to me and go, if it wasn't for Toys for Tots, when I was 8, 9, and 10, we wouldn't have had Christmas.
Yep.
It's amazing. I'll run into Marines and be like, yeah, I found out last year when I told my mom that I was going to go volunteer for Toys for Tots. She told me the story that her and Dad were unable to do Christmas, and someone recommended they ask for toys from Toys for Tots, and that's the only reason they had Christmas those years. So the impact, like John said, is just simply amazing across the country, and we're starting to just get a piece of the story, and that's what we love. Any listeners out there, contact Toys for Tots because we want to hear your story.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely put all these links into our show description when we put this thing out. But so Gunnar, you said you're a veteran. You're 25 year.
I did 12 years enlisted, 13 as an officer, so staff sergeant and then major.
And then, so did you have So a lot of my buddies who are Mustangers, the big thing that they always said, especially once they got their rockers, was, I'm already doing the damn job that guy's supposed to be doing. I might as well get the pay, right?
It kind of came out that way. Yeah. So I was the sergeant at the time, and one of my peers, we were talking, and we had a new lieutenant come in, and they were changing everything up and messing everything up, and I was complaining like a good Marine does. And he looks at me, and he just kind of gives a light sigh, and he goes, Gunnar, put up or shut up. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, you know what? He's the officer. He's in charge, right? And so we do what he says. So unless you're willing to put yourself in that position to make the decisions, then shut up and color. You know, so it kind of resonated with me.
Yeah.
And then I started taking classes, and then I put in a MESEP package, and, you know, it was simply amazing. I put my MESEP package in 2001. So, you know, I ended up going to college, and I almost gave that up because my unit was deploying to Iraq.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so from 2002 to 2005, I was in school. So, you know, I'm thinking, you know, this is going to be short. We're going to wait.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it. Yeah,
I'm going to miss it. And I didn't. You know, but I tell you, you have to make life choices. You know.
Yeah.
And it's the opportunity cost, right? I could have given up my opportunity to go to combat early, or I could have put myself in a leadership position.
Yeah.
And then go to combat leading Marines. And so that's what I did. And I think it's the best decision that I did, other than marrying my wife. I'm going to throw that plug in there.
Yeah.
That's a good cover.
But
Good cover.
You're a good man.
It's something that everybody has to make a decision, and you can't second guess your decision, right? You make a life decision like that.
Well, I mean, but the MESEP program is, I mean, I can't say enough about it. Obviously, we're going to talk Toys for Tots, but I will say the MESEP program for our listeners, if you're enlisted and you're tired of your zeros telling you what to do, fucking go to MESEP, man. Like, if I had known about it, I probably wouldn't have gone to college out of high school.
It is the best program the Marine Corps has.
Yeah.
You think about, 4 years enlisted, and you make that decision. When you go to OCS, when you go to TBS, you are ahead of all your peers.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're going to come to you, and that's what happened to me. You know, these guys and gals would come to me and be like, hey, what about this? What about this? It's like, well, we're being taught this. You know, when you get out to the fleet, it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it is very, very important.
Even in the program, you're getting BAH, non-competitive promotion.
I was selected for gunny, but I never got to pin it on because I put on the gold bars instead.
Oh,
so.
how rough.
Yeah,
how rough.
Still collecting that time in service. So.
Yeah.
Well, John, what about you?
I actually, military brat, and then I joined the Air Force.
Okay.
Did 4.5 years in the Air Force.
Our co-host is an Air Force wife.
So I was Security Forces.
Nice.
Minot, North Dakota. Nothing exciting for me. Just guarded nukes, so super fun.
Yeah, really cool.
Got to go fishing, hunting while I was on duty. So.
And were you an animator growing up, or where did that passion come from?
I've always been kind of an artist. And just kind of fell into place with everything that I do. Jack of all trades, master of one or two. But no, it was kind of like here's what we need you to do.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Okay.
And so I definitely took it on, and it's been very interesting. I'm still learning things about animation. Doing the videography and stuff like that for it as well, and all the videos that are in the background. So there's a lot that goes into it. They're pretty simple videos, but they do take some time to make.
Sure.
So.
Well, I mean, this podcast, Genesis, is a very similar thing.
Right.
When I was coming on board, I looked over and saw a sound studio. Go, oh man, you guys got a sound studio. You should do a podcast.
There you go.
Fucking keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Great idea. Why don't you run with that?
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool, man. And how long have you been now with Toys for Tots?
This is my third year.
Okay.
And it is absolutely amazing. Both my parents, Marines.
Okay.
So mom Marine, dad Marine. Mom did 8 years in the Corps. Dad did 21.
Nice.
Got out in 99. Retired as a master of guns.
That's so cool.
And definitely proud of both my parents. And the only reason why I went Air Force is because I had a child at the time. And my dad was like, I'll kick you right in the... So if you go in the Marines, and this was right at 9/11 time frame. So he was like, you need to just stay home as much as possible. But I still went. I went cop, so I was like, figured I'd get in trouble that way.
And what about you, Gunnar?
As far as my role,
or how long have you been with Toys for Tots now?
Oh, I've been with Toys for Tots now. This summer is my second year.
Okay.
So cool story. I do an event in Vienna called Viva Vienna, and General Lasser, who's the president and CEO, was my guest speaker at the Memorial Day tribute.
Wait, you have a Vienna, Virginia?
Yeah.
Dude, I live in Vienna.
Oh,
I go to that thing every year.
Well, come see me. I'll give you your first beer.
I mean, twist my arm, man. Like, shit, don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm the chairman. I run that
No way.
event.
I'll give you my card, man.
So we, General Laster was my first guest speaker when I was running the program, the Memorial Day tribute. And he's like, Gunnar, I need to get you to the foundation. At the time, I had just started a job at the Pentagon for the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. And so I was like, I just started, but yeah, I'd love to, maybe come on the board or something like that. I didn't hear from him for a year. And then he calls me out of the blue, and he's like, hey, Gunnar, you want to go to dinner? And sure, had dinner. He's like, hey, would you be interested if I brought you on? And I'll be like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then so another 9 months goes by. He calls me again. And he goes, hey, Gunnar, you want to do lunch? I'd like to bring you to the foundation and show you around and have lunch with you. I walk into his office, and we had Kelly Hardison, who's our director of HR. We had the vice president, Ted Sylvester, on the other side of the table, and General Laster sitting there. And I walk in, and I'm like, this isn't lunch. This is a job interview. And we sat there for 2 hours.
Oh, dang.
And, great experience. 2 weeks later, I got the job offer. They created a position, Deputy Vice President of Business Development. They built me an office out of one of the conference rooms. And
I got a cube. I got a cube. He gets an office.
General Laster has basically said, Gunnar, we need an additional $5 million to keep the program running because of all the initiatives that we do. And with the economy going down, with inflation going up, everything costs more, right? So we're here, my role is to travel the country and talk to these big businesses that happen to be here and say, hey, how would you like to partner with Toys for Tots? You're supporting the Marine Corps in a different light, but it's going to look good for you when you're pitching to the Marine Corps and you say, oh, by the way, we support Toys for Tots.
Yep.
No, I mean, it doesn't seem like that's a hard sell.
It's not. And I joke around with it. When someone tells me no, one of my friends came to me. You should just say, hey, are you saying no to kids or to the military? Just so I can take that back to my bosses,
right.
It's
my after-action report.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet. But, it's just, that's what we do. We get to shed the great light, the Marines are going to win nation's battles for centuries, right?
Yeah.
But we take care of our community, and we're one of the only services that has a mandate, that's part of the foundation mandate is to support the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm so happy that we made this happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Like as soon as my co-host Nancy was like, hey, did you want to talk for Toy for Tots? Like, yeah, I really do, actually.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, Vic. This is what it's about. It's getting the message out. John does a great job. I tell everybody, go online, find Gunny Bear on Facebook, and just listen to the videos because they're short and they're informative.
Yeah.
Especially during the holiday season, he provides so much information on how to contact, how to look up and request a toy, all that stuff. He provides small videos for you.
And it's a team effort. We have 4 people that are on the base ground of this. We got our social media manager Kendra. We got our content producer / email blast and all that stuff. Brianna, and then Mary Kate. She does all of our press releases. Writes the scripts for the general, stuff like that. Yes, he has a script writer. It's okay.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, and so as a group, we really just go out there and we're like a little freaking response force.
Well, I'll definitely link stuff in the show description especially for the Gunny Bear stuff.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
But like for our listeners now, like for anybody who just hasn't really been paying attention, how can they get involved? How can they support Toys for Tots?
There's so many different ways that you can get involved, right? So you can volunteer. You can request to be a drop site.
Yeah.
What the hardest thing to get is cash dollars, right? Because while collecting toys is at the base in the heart of the mission, 30 million toys last year, only 15 million were collected locally. And so that means the foundation had to purchase the other toys. Now, we have pretty good buying power, so we're able to bring the cost down. Like a book for us is $2.70.
Right, because you're buying
Right.
1,000.
Millions, you know?
Yeah.
So we're able to really have a lot of power when it comes to that. So you go to the store and buy one toy for $20, we're buying 2 or 3 toys with that same amount of money. So going in and making a cash donation, there's a button right there. Now, if you work at an organization that does matching, there's an ability for you to match you have your company match your donation.
Okay.
And then introductions. I'm all over our website when it comes to contacting me. If you've got a company out there that wants to support Toys for Tots, you reach out to me. I will work with you. To be a national corporate donor is $5,000 and above. To be a national corporate sponsor, it's $25,000 and above. And we'll put your name on our website. We'll put you in our annual report. We'll, and then we'll throw out, your name every once in a while. Hasbro and Lego were our biggest donors this year, and they're just an amazing organization. And you think about Lego, that building block, that's that STEM toy that we're talking about.
Exactly.
And Disney has been the longest.
Oh, that's true.
Longest running
since the
partner.
beginning, right?
Since the beginning.
Since day one.
Since literally the conception of us.
Yes, yes. And
so.
I'd be remiss without. And I got to travel the world with Mickey last year. And I tell you, it was like being in New York City to kick off his around the world tour with Mickey and being a part of that. Disney, they absolutely love us, and I'm actually going out to California in June to the Anaheim studios to work with them and talk about this year's planning.
That's awesome.
So yes, they're pretty important.
Well, that's really exciting. I'm glad that you guys have so much momentum, and I've actually learned a lot about what you guys do outside of just the Marine Corps side of it and the Christmas part of it. And it's really uplifting and heartwarming to hear what it is you guys are doing. I'm so glad you guys came on. So.
Heck yeah. Well, if anybody wants to just reach out to us, it's toysfortots.org all year round.
Yeah.
And we got all of our programs on there. You can pick and choose whatever you want to support. And you can actually go to your local campaign and donate directly to your local campaign, and those funds will go right back into your local community, just as if you were donating a toy in a box in your local community. Everything stays local. That's kind of the main thing. Unless you donate on the national website at the national level, then it'll go local, but we get it back out there 98-2.
Yeah,
98-2. This past season is our ratio.
Explain. So 98-2 is the program to support ratio.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So that means for every dollar that you give, 98 cents goes to putting a toy in a kid's hand.
That's awesome.
And none of our salaries are actually paid by any donation whatsoever. It's by an endowment. We actually get paid off the interest of that. So no funds are actually being paid to any employee.
Yeah.
And
I know that's a big question, right?
Yeah,
Donors
absolutely.
have where's this money actually going? And so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And our audited financials are right there on the website.
I love the transparency.
Anybody can see it. Our audit took a little longer this year, but it's up there now.
That's great.
Oh yeah, we got hit pretty decent with our audit this year, and they did a really fine-tooth combing of it. So anybody can go on there and check it out.
Yeah. Well, and I also love the fact that veterans. So we got veterans working in this thing that the Marine Corps is supporting and giving. It's just the idea of community and what you guys are doing for it, man. Thank you guys so much for what you do. This is awesome.
Thank you for your time today, Vic. We really
anybody that's listening that you volunteered, thank you so much for what you guys do, because we couldn't do it without all of our volunteers.
49,000 people.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Hours of their time.
Huge.
That's awesome. So good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy Modern Day Marine.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you around.
All right.
Thank you.
Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. You have heard the voices or contributions from Major Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Lichman, William Truding, and our guest. Ty Frazier is the editor, sound engineer, and technical producer. The Marine Corps Association is not an agency of the U.S. government. The opinions expressed in this episode are the personal views of the participants and do not reflect the official position of the United States Marine Corps, the Department of Defense, or the Marine Corps Association.